Hi guys, welcome back to another makeup tutorial. Today we will be doing a simple basic makeup look with minimal products, no foundation. We'll also be doing a little bit of story time. So if you want to see how I achieve this look, please keep on watching. So what we're going to do is start with this Kevyn Aucoin concealer. This is really expensive, by the way. And I've barely used it, as you can see, which is really crazy, but kind of, you know, we'll check it out. For today, I already did my skincare, which is my regular skin routine regimen. So I used that as my primer. I have some other primers, but I think because I'm going to be going a little bit lighter today with makeup, I will skip the actual primer. Again, because I can use my skin routine as a primer, which is what I did. So I'm gonna just be using a little bit. This is very full coverage, so I'm gonna be using just a little bit on where my dark marks are. I'll add a little bit more. I think I put a little bit too much right there. So I'm gonna be doing a salsa class today. It's gonna be like a group thing with a few people who I met at a run club, so I'm looking forward to that. I've never done a salsa class and I think it's really interesting and fun. And also, guys, this is the reason that you should try getting out, try to meet more people, try to build connections with people, just so you can be a little bit more motivated to get out and meet people and, you know, immerse yourself into the world so you can have like a more fulfilling life. Because sometimes there are things that you won't try because you know, someone didn't invite you, or you wouldn't have looked at it because, you know, it just kind of never came up. But meeting people might allow them to bring certain experiences in your life. A lot of the experiences that I've had is because I have allowed myself to be open. Okay, this is full coverage, so is because I've allowed myself to be open, like with my friends and friends that I've had for years, and also trying to put myself out there a little bit more. So don't be afraid to do that, is the point that I'm trying to get at. It will allow you to have better experiences in life and just like being more open to meeting people and welcoming new experiences, things that you wouldn't typically do just on your own. If you have a mindset of being open, you will welcome those things. So don't be afraid to put yourself out there, join groups, join run clubs, which allows you to meet more people, network, all these, you know, different type of things. So these are really good ways to build connections, not just for friendship, but also, you know, yeah. So anyway, I wanted to tell you guys about someone who I was dating that almost scammed me. He tried to scam me, but can't scam a scammer, okay? So I was on this dating app because, you know, I'm on my journey. I'm trying to date to get to meet people or whatever. Just gonna prep some sections that I would like to highlight. So when I put my concealer, it'll blend in. So anyway, so let me just put this off for a second. If I need more, I can simply add more. So anyway, I was dating this guy. He was from Africa. Met him on the apps, one of the apps, and I was just like, okay, he was, you know, he seemed handsome, and I could tell this is such a like a little bit of a red flag, just because regular guys are not into like filters and stuff. I feel like guys who are into filters, it's very strange. Well, it's not my type of guy. It's not my type of guy, I'll say that. So he was I realized his pictures on the apps had some filters or whatever, but I'm the type of person, like, I like to give a little bit of the benefit of the doubt. So I'm just like, okay, you know, I'll still like hear him out, because that's one of my intentions, like going into like this whole dating thing, is being open and not like just judging. Like I have to be open to hearing, understanding, and learning more from people, and then I can kind of decide if, you know, something works for me or not, but not just like going straight off of my own preconceived notions of something that I only saw and I've never interacted with this person. So anyway, started talking to him or whatever, and he was like, oh, you know, he likes me, I'm beautiful, all of this stuff. I'm like, you know, thank you. All of these things I kind of expect, because guys are kind of like that, right? They're kind of like, oh my god, you're so beautiful and whatever, because they believe like that's going to make you swoon, and like, you know, they believe that's what you want to hear. So they start with those things, like just, oh my god, you're so beautiful, da 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 da, whatever. So anyway, I'm talking to him, and I'm like, okay, you know, he seems handsome, seems like he does well for himself, like he looks like he's into all of that name brand stuff, which I'm not typically a big fan of, just because I don't, it's very strange to me. Just, it sort of tells me you have a certain mentality, and that's not usually me, because I'm not big into name brands. I'm like just like a regular girl. I do love fashion, I do like, you know, dressing up and all of that good stuff, but if I'm not like that big into labels, it's whatever looks nice, right? And I'm into being you know, responsible when it comes to money and all of that stuff. So anyway, I'm like, okay, that kind of tells me a little something, but again, I don't want to just judge or whatever, because people can be into what they're into. Anyway, continue to talk to him. He seemed like he was just swooning over me, you know, so soon, so early. And to me, again, those things are a red flag. It's like an indication that this person is a love bomber. So I'm already on alert. Again, I'm going to give you the chance, opportunity to try to get to know you. So talking to him, and as we're talking, he's like, you know, he wants a wife, he wants this, he wants that. And I'm like, you know, great. Like, these are the things that I want as well. I'm not gullible, so I listen to people. I allow them to speak, and I kind of take it from there. I'll say that. So I continued to talk to him, and like I said, we had exchanged numbers and all of this stuff. He was telling me about some of his experiences on the app. I was like, okay, you know, I've had some interesting experiences as well, and a lot of people aren't really looking for love. They're just looking to play games, and you know, that's kind of what they're doing. And so you know, you got to be careful or whatever. So that was kind of what our conversation was like in the beginning. And as we're continuing to talk, he's just like, oh my god, like basically I'm just like so perfect for him and all of this stuff or whatever. Cool, you know, I'm not like really saying much. I'm just like, okay. I was like, yeah, you know, he's handsome. He was like, I'm attracted to guys that are super tall. So he was like 6'4". He's like in the gym. He started sharing with me like all the things that he kind of does or he's into. He's from Africa. He comes to the States, and he also does real estate. He has properties here that he's selling and all this stuff, and he is also building some kind of property or whatever in Rwanda. I want to say it was Rwanda, if I'm not lying, or Nigeria, or he was from Nigeria and building something in Rwanda or whatever. He also has a rice field or whatever, all this kind of stuff. I'm like, okay, he's doing good for himself. Again, this is what he's telling me. I don't know any of this to be true. Again, I'm just listening, right? Because for me, again, I'm not gullible, so I'm going to allow things to play out on their own. So we're continuing to talk, and you know, I'm continuing to like share stuff with him. We were mainly communicating on WhatsApp, yeah. And he was like, oh, you know, you're my girl, you know, this is all very fast. Again, I'm entertaining him. He's like, you're my girl, you always have access to me. I want you to disturb my phone. I'm like, okay, I want you to disturb my phone. Those are all things that are my love language. So, you know, I don't have any problem with any of that. I'm like, okay, great. Again, I'm going to see how these things that you're saying lines up with your actions. So, he's like, oh, disturb my phone. You always have access to me. If I don't get through to him, he's going to call me back or whatever. He shared like kind of what his routine, his day-to-day routine was. Pretty much he would get up super early, and remember, there's a big time difference. Right now I forgot what the time difference was, but it's a lot. You can check what the time difference between New York and Rwanda is, but we still pretty much used to communicate when like I would be up late at night talking to him or whatever. So he would go to the gym really early and do his this, that, or whatever. One of the other things that I noticed was that he loved to do like the social media stuff, and like he would post like his luxury items, and he was his main fit for the gym seemed to be like Adidas, and he would, you know, just send me pictures of what his apartment looked like, or pretty much I was on his Instagram. We were on each other's Instagram and stuff, so I would see that. And I realized that he loved Adidas. You know, it was a nice home. He was into like the fancy colognes, the this, the that. Just seemed very like label oriented or focused. Again, nothing is wrong with that. But I do take note of those things, and I was like, okay, cool. So we're talking, he just used to be like, oh my God. This is when I'm like, red flag, right? Because he was like, oh my God, you're so beautiful. He's like, I love everything about you. He loves everything about me. So my indentation, which I guess that was my dimple right there on the side. He's like, I love everything about your indentation, your smile, your this, your like everything. So I was like, okay, you know, like, thanks. And I'm just like, okay, this is very love bombing. It wasn't a long time. Guys, literally I spoke to him for probably just like less than a month, and we eventually stopped talking because I'm like, yeah, boy, he got the wrong one. Anyway, so he loved everything about me or whatever, and like I told you, he wanted me to disturb his phone. He has you know, communication and contact with me all the time and all this stuff, whatever. I was like, cool. He told me he was coming to, this was around, I want to say maybe like September. It was like around fall time or whatever, but he was like, oh, he's coming to New York in October or December, somewhere around that time, a little bit closer to the ending of fall. It was like, oh, he's coming around that time. So I was like, okay, great, I'm gonna get to meet this person. So he's like, okay. And then as the time is coming closer, remember we spoke for maybe about a month or so, but as it just felt like all a plan, right? Like it was like worked out and everything. But as the time is going along, he's like, oh, he's not, he doesn't know if he's going to get to come to New York and all of this stuff with the construction going on in Rwanda and all this stuff. And you know, I started asking questions about his agreement, I guess, with whoever he's working with, realtor, as a realtor, and all this stuff. And because I couldn't understand some of it because it just wasn't clear. And I'm like, the houses that he has on his Instagram were lavish. And when I say lavish, I mean lavish. Like, if you're selling these homes, there is nothing that can get in your way. Okay, nothing can get in your way because honestly, you've arrived. Like, that's the type of houses these were. And I'm like, okay, wow, he must be doing well for himself. But then as time is going along, it's like, oh, he doesn't know if he's going to get to come because of the construction going on in Rwanda or whatever. And then as we're talking day by day, he's just feeling more and more needed. Oh my God, baby, I can't wait to see you. Oh my God, baby, I can't wait to see you. Be like, oh, I'm crazy for you. I'm this, I'm that, whatever. And so I'm like, oh wow, you know, it's going to be disappointing. I was really looking forward to meeting you or whatever. Then he's like, oh, why don't you come? Like, he wants me to come to Nigeria, to Rwanda. I'm like, okay, so I'm listening. You want me to come to Rwanda? Okay, who's buying the ticket? Because it's not me. That's for sure. I'm not paying for a ticket, right? So even if I were to consider going, I would have went, but I would have stayed in my own place, and I would have, you know, if I was like really consider, like, let's say he really did buy a ticket or whatever, that's what I would have done. I wouldn't go and like stay with him or anything like that, because I would have, you know, been thinking like, oh my God, he's gonna take me, something's gonna happen, you know. So anyway, so he's like, oh, but then he starts, oh, you know, the rice field and the building of the place is taking all the money or whatever. Red flag. I said, oh wow, okay, wow. And he's like, oh baby, he's like, you know, you could come, and I told you I'm gonna give it back. It's just because, you know, it's taking all of the money and this and that. I'm like, oh, I was like, yeah, I'm not working, so I'm not, you know, spending money. He's like, what do you mean? It's like, I want to see you. And now it's like kind of like a guilt trip type of thing. What do you mean? I want to see you and this and that, and I told you once I'm in something, I'm in it, and I am committed and all this kind of stuff. And that's supposed to be my African accent, but it's really not. But anyway, he's like, you know, I'm committed and all of this stuff, like having an attitude and everything, like just acting very bratty. So it's like, again, those things to me are red flags, because you don't know me that long. There's no way you have built this much of an attachment and carrying on and having an attitude and all of this stuff, like vex, like really vex, like he's upset for real, like because he wants to see me and I'm not coming to see him on my money. That's what it was. That's what it was. Okay, yeah, you got the wrong one. So I'm like, yeah, well, I'm not working. I was like, you want me to come, but it's like, I don't have the money, so how I'm gonna get there? And I don't have the money, you don't have the money, so how I'm gonna get there? Because we both not sure at this point. We both not sure. So anyway, he's like giving me attitude and stuff, because he's just like so disappointed that I'm not committed to this relationship. And you know, he wants us to, you know, get married and, you know, have kids, and he doesn't want to live in the US. He wants to live in England and all this stuff, and I'm not gonna have to worry about nothing. And he got all this, I'm not gonna have to worry about nothing, but I gotta find my way to come and see you. All right, bet. So I'm paying attention to all of this. I'm going to put at the end of this video, or somewhere in this video, a video of the houses that he has selling on, that he claims he's a real, like he's everything. He's a realtor, he's a this, he's a girl, he's everything. So he's like, I'm not gonna have to worry about anything, and he got all these things that he wants to do for me, and and all of the things he want to do to me. And I'm like, okay, he's cute, But yeah, I'm not that whipped over nobody. It's just like I have never been the person or the girl who's like, oh my god, I fall in love so fast. That's never been me. I don't care what you're telling me. For me, everything is about actions, and once what you're saying is not like lining up with the things that you're doing, are not lining up with what you're saying, it's like, yeah, you lost me. So he starts like, he was just trying so hard to like convince me to put this ticket to come on my credit card because he's going to give it back to me, right? I'm like, yeah, okay. He's going to give it back to me. He's, you know, just trying to explain to me that it's because of like this construction stuff that's going on and that's why and whatever. Okay, that's cute. So I'm just sitting down like, okay, no, I understand, but I'm telling you, like, that's not how I told him this is not how I do things. Like, I'm not putting money on I'm not putting any charges on my credit card. Like, he's telling me, he's like, you I was like, I don't have the money or whatever and all this stuff. And he's like, oh, you have a credit card or whatever, you can just put it on it. It's not like I'm not going to give it back to you and all of this stuff, and you know, whatever. It's like, I'm not like committed to seeing him and all this kind of stuff. Girl, I'm looking at him like, you must think I'm boo-boo the damn fool. So I'm like, I don't understand. Like, you saying and you were so sure about coming here, and now all of a sudden, like, that's changed. Like, I'm confused. And he's like, oh, I told you, it's just like all this stuff going on and whatever. Yeah, that's cute. None of that is my problem. None of that is my problem. So anyway, I'm just continuing to drag him out, to be honest, because at this point I'm like, okay, he is something very weird and strange about this. He's a scammer. Because no guy who's actually serious about a girl would be doing like these things and telling you, oh, you know, put it on your credit card and come to Rwanda. First it went from, you're coming to New York closer to the end of the year. Now as it's coming closer to the end of the year, all of that is like suddenly changing, and it doesn't look like you're going to get to come, and I should now make my way there. Something's getting very strange, and it's getting strange very fast. Okay, so anyway, I'm like, yeah, okay, sorry, we just keep talking or whatever. And he's like starting to have like more and more of an attitude and all this kind of stuff. I noticed like when I would call him, I'm not like getting through, kind of, and I'm just like, okay, well, you said you want me to disturb your phone. And while I wasn't disturbing his phone, but I would call, right? And I'm just like, oh, you said you want me to disturb your phone and call and all of this stuff or whatever, but it's like you're not picking up, and you know, all of a sudden, like, you're so busy. But I guess that was because he wasn't, you know, getting through. Maybe I wasn't stupid enough, and he's not getting where he wants to get with me. So he's just like, okay, this is going to be kind of hard, and this is not his ideal victim or something. I don't know who has been, like, you know, who he's been getting over on, but maybe he just wasn't working out with me, and he was just like, yeah, he needs somebody a little bit more stupid, and I'm a waste of time because I'm not buying what he's selling. So that's what I'm thinking. And like I said, I have clocked it from the jump because he was just way too love bombing from the beginning. But I'd be entertaining people and just like, go off, sis, go off, bro. So anyway, he's there, he's like talking, we're talking still and all of that. And then I'm just like, one day because I was like, you know, every day telling my friend about this update with him and, you know, whatever. So one day I was like, okay, I said, this is just so strange. Because I don't understand, like, it's not making sense. You have these homes on your Instagram that you're selling that look so luxe and lavish and, you know, grand. This is not a you know, $1 million homes. These are millions of dollar homes. This is what like the high celebrities live in. Like, I'm telling you, yeah, you know. So I'm just like, how is he like getting to sell these homes? Like, I don't understand. Like, this is very strange. And he's Nigerian. Like, it just wasn't adding up. I'll say that. It just wasn't adding up. So anyway, I got curious, and then I was like, I'm going to do an image search online to see. I'm going to do an image search online to see, like, what's tea? When I started checking, like, I started like screenshotting the pictures on his Instagram or whatever and searching online with that, why were these homes coming up with different sellers and all of this stuff? I was like, well, god damn, I couldn't believe it. I was just like, you know, so he was literally just like taking homes, I guess, from other sellers and like posting them or whatever, and then claiming he's a real estate agent. Like, I don't know, because then when I asked him, I tried to ask him about, like, to explain like more, how is he a realtor? Like, I wasn't understanding. I was like, oh, but you're selling these homes, how do you not have these? Because I'm telling you, these homes are so grand and so lavish. If he sold one of those homes, he's good, like, for a long time. You know what I mean? Like, the homes were that grandiose, lavish, and beautiful. I was just like, wow, must be nice. And he was like, oh, it's like if he sells, you know, this or whatever. And then he was saying, I don't remember if it was like New York, he was saying, or where the person who he's so-called working with was, but it just seemed like these homes also on the Instagram page, when I did like a reverse lookup, they were in different states as well. So I'm just like, okay, like, clearly he's just lying, and this is just getting very crazy and weird. And yeah, I'm just so glad that I'm not gullible, because Lord knows if I was, I would have, you know, jumped into all of this, because I'm like, you know, just whipped by the things that I see and not like making actual sense of it. So that's FYI for all the girlies out there. Make sure you're not just like, you know, taking things on credit that boys, you know, guys tell you. It's just like, oh, I this, and then it's like, shit don't be adding up. You're just listening to what they're saying, and then you feel like, oh yeah, he's the one because yeah, he's successful. Like, I could have taken that from all the things that he's told me and the things that I've seen on his Instagram and all that, and how his apartment looks and the things that he shows, like how he likes to dress and the Versace and the this and that, all these things. If I paid attention to that, I would have been like, oh yeah, he does well for himself and this is nice or whatever. Stop it. Okay? Stop it. So anyway, so once I was like telling my friend, I'm like, you know, I was telling her about all of this stuff that I'm noticing like on his Instagram, and you know how things are getting just like really weird, and how he's lying and stuff, and we were just like laughing about it or whatever. And he kept trying to like guilt trip me into like thinking that I'm not interested, because if I was, I would this, I would that, I would, you know, be coming to Rwanda to see him, because he told me, you know, it's just because of everything going on why he can't come right now, or it doesn't look like he's going to be able to come, and all this stuff. So I was like, okay, you know, all that ain't my problem. So we were just laughing about it. And I forgot to tell you too, he was like sending me videos from time to time with him at like the construction site of where the place is really. I guess that was supposed to build trust and show me that like he's really working on something, you know, or whatever. I'm just like, okay. So anyway, yeah, it was all of that stuff that he was doing, and you know, eventually it just like, you know, we stopped talking because he was trying to be upset, I guess, and show me that I didn't want this as much as he wanted it. And you know, when he loves somebody he love, and you know, he doesn't hold back, and he doesn't allow anything to stop him and from going after what he wants and all of this stuff. Cute. Like I said, I'm not paying him any attention because I'm already on high alert or whatever, and he's just like, oh, he wants me to be his wife, and you know, I don't have to worry about this and that, and you know, he loves to cook or whatever, and we're gonna have like a great life. All this stuff, girl. He had all of these plans just from talking to me for like a week or 2 weeks. And one day he tried, one day he stepped it up a notch when he realized that I wasn't budging on coming to Rwanda to see him or whatever. Baby, I love you. I said, aw, you do? Yeah, but you this. And then he started trying to do like all of this like guilt trip stuff, and how he wants all of this and I don't want it, and you know, getting upset and pouting or whatever. And I'm just like, I'm sitting there, you know, laying in bed looking at the video camera like, is this nigga a fool? Like, I don't understand. Like, is he okay? You know, because he's really thinking I'm going to buy into it or something. Because when he realized that I wasn't buying into it, I feel like that's when he stepped it up a notch, telling me he loves me and, you know, he just wants a life with me and all of this stuff. And he's like, but I don't love him how he loves me, and I'm this, I'm that, whatever. I don't want this, whatever. All this kind of nonsense. And I'm listening to him. I'm just continuing to talk to him because, to be honest, like, he was just filling my time because, like, I'm not, you know, again, I'm just like dating. I'm not, you know, with anybody specific. I'm not talking to a bunch of people. So it's like, just entertain me and continue doing the nonsense stuff so I can go back and laugh with my best friend about it. Because at this point, you think you're the smart one, but you're really the clown. Because what are you doing? Like, don't scam me. Scam your mama. Like, for real. Scam your mama. Okay? Not me. Because I ain't got it. I feel like you can only be scammed when you got it. I don't got it. So you can't scam me. Okay? So, yeah, anyway, it just continued to go on until eventually it stopped because, you know, we stopped like talking or whatever because he tried to just like do something like little guilt trip stuff, and I wasn't buying into it. And eventually I was just like, I'm tired of his stupid ass. So I'm just like, let me stop. Let me leave him alone, because whatever he's trying to do, I'm not going to fall for it. And he's thinking I'm going to, and it's not working. So eventually we stopped talking. But yeah, I'm going to put the video to show you all the houses that he has on his Instagram or whatever. Because I'm like, you selling these houses and making money from selling these houses is nothing in this world that can stop you. Like, if you wanted to come to New York once a week, you can. You shouldn't be telling me anything about rice field taking all of the money or anything taking all of the money. How everything taking all of the money? Sir, you said you're a realtor and you're selling these big lavish homes. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't understand how some people, some women, you know, just like fall for these type of like okie dokies. Because how are you not seeing that these things are not adding up? Like, how are you not seeing that? How are you just so swoon, or do you just want love so bad that you're allowing people to just tell you every and anything and you just gobble it up? Like, how are you just gobbling it up? How? I don't get it. Like, for the life of me, I do not get it. It doesn't make sense. Like, it's 2025. We got to get smarter. Like, we have to get smarter. It's just no way no, absolutely not. You know, so anyway, he wasn't successful. And so I think he needed to find a new victim. It just makes you look at people very differently, because the extent that people, that guys, to be honest, will go to is crazy. Like, it's just too much. And I was just like, you know, he kind of has a little vibe going on. Like, I forgot, oh my gosh, I forgot to tell you that he was trying to build so much trust with me. Like, so much trust that he even sent me a picture of his passport. I'm like, why would you do that? Are you okay? Why would you send a stranger a copy of your passport? But that's to show you how guys, they can feel safe in what they're doing, right? When it comes to trying to like defraud women, or just feeling like we're not a threat to them, you know? But when it comes to us, we have to be so careful. Because why would you, I would never send anybody my passport. Never. Like, why would you send me a picture of your passport? He sent me that, and he sent me another document. I can't remember if it was his birth certificate or if it was something else. It was another document. If I can find it in my phone, I'll show it to you. But or I'll check what it, I won't put it in this video, but I'll check what it is to let you know. But it was so weird. I'm just like, what? Why would you do that? Just like, why? Like, are you okay? Do you not feel fearful that I can potentially do something with your personal document like that? Are you okay? Like, but I guess he had no reason to be fearful, honey. None whatsoever. I was like, okay, cute. So I guess that was supposed to make me feel like, look, see, like, I'm showing you that XYZ. But I told y'all this story, and it's with the intention to say this. So I tell you of this to say this. Stop being gullible. Stop being gullible, because men, they're yeah, the African prince, he ain't coming. Okay? Stop believing these things. And though he was like African, and we kind of associate Africans with like this whole like scamming thing or whatever, but women still fall for these things, and men think that all women are gullible, and a lot of times that's because we do things that makes them believe that we're all gullible, right? So I want to say, when you are on your dating journey, please be mindful. Do not take everything someone says as gospel, feeling like, oh my God, look at what he did, he wouldn't have done this. Like, because I could have easily taken him sending me his passport as a sign of like trust. Like, oh my God, he wouldn't have sent me that if he didn't trust me this much. You know what I'm saying? Like, I could have easily thought that way of it, and you know, just like, oh my God, I'm going to go meet him, because like, if he didn't, I'm gonna go meet him on my dime, because if he didn't really like me, he would never like send me these things. Or, oh my God, he wouldn't like be so upset that I'm like holding back, because it's like he's all in and I'm like not. And he's showing me that, you like, come on, we gotta stop this stuff. We gotta stop this stuff. We gotta stop being so gullible. We don't need love that bad to just buy anything they selling. Like, no, we don't. Okay? Love is cute and all of that, but we don't need it that bad to be like, just buying everything that they selling. No, absolutely not. So stop and start using the brain that God gave you. Okay? But that's like on my dating journey, I have met some very interesting people, and it has been so eventful, to say the least. Like, I can't even lie, it's been hilarious because people keep thinking like I'm stupid or something. I guess because like I'm a person who laughs a lot, and I'm very like, you know, my face is, you know, kind of young. I look impressionable, maybe, I'm assuming, because it's like if you keep trying to do that, maybe you just keep trying to do that because I'm a female, or maybe because you feel like I am gullible to some extent or something. I have no idea. You gotta ask them. But not because I look this way does not mean I'm stupid. Okay, so that's number one. Number two, ladies, y'all need to make me proud and stop letting men get away with these things in 2025. For the rest of 2025, going into 2026, because it's ridiculous at this point. We're too old for this stuff. We're not that desperate to just be buying anything that they selling. No, it's gotta stop. These are some of the homes that he has on his Instagram that he claims to sell, and his titles that are listed are: he's in crypto, he's a tech investor, futurist, he's a luxury real estate agent, a consultant, he's in property management, all of these things. But yeah, you can't afford to pay for a ticket for me to come to Africa. With all of these titles and selling these lavish homes, you should be able to get on a flight every other day and it doesn't shake or move anything in your bank account. Okay, I'm not dumb. So clearly he was a scammer, but I'm glad I don't fall for these things, and I have really good discernment, and I wish that ladies would be more discerning when they are on this dating journey, because people are really out to get you. So please be more discerning. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed this story time, even though it wasn't funny. But I hope as you are on your dating journey that you are using discernment as you're going through the process. If you enjoyed the rest of this video and the makeup tutorial, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.